Welcome back to Cosmic Lab, where we explore the most fascinating aspects of our planet, from space wonders to global hotspots that shape our world. Today, we're focusing on a narrow strip of water that's vital to the global economy and peace, the Strait of Hormuz. This 33-kilometer-wide channel at the mouth of the Persian Gulf connects the oil-rich Middle East to the rest of the world. It's not just a geographical feature, it's a lifeline for energy, trade, and stability. But what makes it so important? And if Iran were to block it, what would be the immediate consequences and long-term after-effects? We'll break it down step by step, based on real data, historical events, and expert analyses from 2026. This is a detailed look at a flashpoint that could reshape the planet. Let's dive in. First, why is the Strait of Hormuz so critical? It handles about 20% of the world's oil supply, roughly 20 million barrels per day. That's enough to power global transportation, manufacturing, and heating for billions of people. The strait is the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean, meaning oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar must pass through it to reach markets in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. In 2026, with oil prices already volatile due to ongoing conflicts, any disruption here sends shockwaves worldwide. The strait also carries 25% of global liquefied natural gas, LNG, exports, mostly from Qatar. Beyond energy, it's a trade route for goods worth trillions annually. Geographically, it's narrow. At its tightest, ships navigate channels just 3 kilometers wide, making it easy to mine, patrol, or block. Iran borders the strait on one side, with Oman on the other. Iran controls the northern shore and several islands, giving it strategic leverage. Historically, tensions have flared. In the 1980s Iran-Iraq War, tanker war, hundreds of ships were attacked. In 2019, Iran seized tankers amid U.S. sanctions, spiking oil prices 20%. In 2026, with ongoing Middle East conflicts, Iran has repeatedly threatened closure if provoked, like after drone strikes or sanctions tightening. But what if Iran actually blocked it? Short-term consequences would be immediate and severe. If Iran mined the strait or used missiles, drones to target ships, global oil prices could double overnight, from $80 per barrel to $150 or more. Energy experts estimate a 20 to 30% spike in gasoline prices worldwide within days. Countries like China imports 40% of oil through Hormuz, Japan, and India would face shortages, triggering economic slowdowns. Europe, reliant on Gulf LNG, could see heating costs soar in winter. Shipping reroutes around Africa, adding 10,000 kilometers and weeks to trips, would inflate freight costs by 30 to 50%, hitting food prices and supply chains. The U.S., less dependent on Gulf oil due to shale production, would still see inflation and stock market drops. Militarily, a blockade could escalate to war. The U.S. Fifth Fleet patrols the strait, and any closure might invoke freedom of navigation operations, leading to clashes. Iran has anti-ship missiles, speedboats, and submarines capable of short-term disruption, but a U.S.-led coalition, with Saudi Arabia, UAE, could reopen it in weeks. However, the human cost would be high. Civilian casualties, environmental disasters from oil spills, like the 1989 Exxon Valdez but worse, and regional instabilities spreading to Yemen or Iraq. Long-term after-effects would reshape the world. Economically, a prolonged blockage could cause a global recession. Goldman Sachs models predict 1 to 2% drop in world GDP for every month close. Energy markets would shift. Accelerated push for renewables, more U.S. shale exports, and new pipelines bypassing Hormuz, like Saudi Arabia's East-West line. Geopolitically, it could fracture alliances. China might back Iran for oil security, straining U.S. relations. Iran could face harsher sanctions or isolation, hurting its economy further. Environmentally, spills could devastate Persian Gulf fisheries and mangroves for decades, killing marine life and affecting millions who rely on the sea. But there's a silver lining. Past threats have led to diplomacy. The 2015 JCPOA nuclear deal eased tensions, and 2026 talks aim to prevent escalation. The Strait highlights our dependence on fragile routes, pushing innovation in energy independence and peace. The Strait of Hormuz isn't just water, it's a pressure point for the world. One blockade could change everything, but understanding it helps us avoid disaster. If this video made you think about global risks, smash that like button to spread awareness. Comment below. Do you think Iran would ever block the Strait, and what would be the biggest consequence? Subscribe to Cosmic Lab and turn on notifications. We're covering more critical global hotspots and space stories every week. Thanks for watching, bro. Knowledge is power. Globe High Voltage. Welcome.